Supposed to. Okay. It says sending data. We are live on YouTube. Twitch, don't be a dick. Because it worked perfectly earlier. Oh, yes. No, go live. There we go. That is all three of our faces up on that screen. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, everybody. I have accomplished the great feat. Yes? No? No reaction?
Oh, yes. No, I was waiting to see it on my phone. Sorry, I just put Twitch up. It is working. Yay.
Yay.
Like we've sandwiched Pipeman too
Oh, I love it.
with our
You're right in the middle.
with our video. Yeah. In the spot of honor.
Oh, yay, and we are live there. I see it. I see it. We are everywhere. I'm happy.
Wait, where else are we?
Well, just on the two, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was like, oh no. Let me just loudly adjust this. Excuse me.
No, it's
My
funny because I
cats
can't hear it when
ruin
it
everything.
happens, but I hear it on the recording.
Oh, it's weird because I can hear it when I touch my mic or something. It's so loud to me.
Mm.
I don't know.
Oh, I heard that time.
Yay.
All right.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready to start.
To
Sorry,
start?
we're like
I can
professional.
start. We're super professional. What song do we want to
I'm
play to
professional
kick
during
off
the
the
daytime.
night? Should we go Mass Effect opener? Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship. I'm Genesis, the girl who didn't write an intro today, so we're winging it.
And I'm Bravada, the girl whose motto in life is to wing it.
Love it.
Usually.
And today we have a very special interview with a friend of the pod and Mass Effect patron episode favorite, Pipeman. Now, this is going to be a little. Yes, we're friends. Hi, friend.
Friend.
Now, this one is going to be a little bit different because we didn't bring him on to talk about a specific video game romance, but more of a candid chat about how gaming in general can really change your headspace, and then sexy time.
So, a few weeks ago, you were on the Mass Effect Lorecast patron episode, and you shared a story with your listeners about your experience being a Marine and what it was like to transition back into civilian life, and what Mass Effect specifically, but just games in general, did for you. Do you want to walk us through that again and tell your Mass Effect origin story and how it brought you to where you are today?
Sure. So, briefly, because I don't want to get into too many details, I was in the Marine Corps until about 2008, and shout out to Vervada because I'm sure we're going to have loads of jokes back and forth. But I got out in
I was in the
2008.
Navy, for those who
Yes.
don't know.
Right, yeah, exactly. So we appreciate our Uber drivers. So anyway, I was in the Marine Corps until about 2008, and about two and a half years after I left the Marine Corps, um, my best friend, battle buddy, however you want to, whatever label you want to use, um, died. And I'm going to be just brutally short about it. And it sent me into a quite the depression afterwards. We were best friends. We'd served together for at least 2 years, 3 years at the same duty station, and had grown quite close. And following his death, I I had gotten out. He had still been in. I don't know if you want to call it like a survivor's guilt or anything. I know there are probably some veterans listening to this that at least can relate to that term in whatever way they will. But the overwhelming feeling of just not being there and just having this emptiness inside, it crushed me for God, probably, I mean, a full year of just a dark depression. Now, that aside, my best friend and I have been gamers for most of our lives. I was always the best friend that would just kind of sit and watch until his mom yelled at him to let me play. Which my response was, I kind of enjoy watching. I wasn't as good a gamer as he was, so I was perfectly content to just sit and watch. Anyway, he had played Mass Effect. I want to say in 2007 when it first came out. I watched for a bit. Never totally got into it until a couple years later, and he gave me the original three games. I guess he had moved on to whatever next game he was playing, and my first playthrough through the game um, was such it had such an impact on my mental health, my emotional health, and the joke I sort of use is it brought me back through the Omega 4 relay. For
Hmm.
those of you who haven't played Mass Effect, going through the Omega 4 relay is sort of synonymous with beginning the suicide mission where you're not coming back. So playing through those games, it rebuilt it rebuilt my entire headspace. And in terms of just not just romance. I know we'll probably talk about that a bit, but simply having a squad to take care of and having friends, and BioWare is so good at writing what I think I would define as the human condition.
Hmm.
Not only do you have squad mates, but they've got their own problems. They've got their own backstories and histories and whatnot. So to be able to find a community, even if it's artificial intelligence and NPCs, um, to find that sort of community again really sort of just re it, I felt reinvented, if you will, and found new purpose, and it's been my favorite game ever since.
Hmm. The fact that you're not necessarily building romantic relationships with everybody in the game, but you're establishing a relationship. You're learning about a person through dialogue choices, yes, but you get
I
to
mean,
find out.
platonic relationships build into romantic relationships,
Hmm.
or even if they don't. I mean, I think you sort of get the same connection, the same level and depth of connection,
Oh,
regardless of where that relationship ends up.
oh yeah,
It's really,
definitely. The fact that you can have best friends in the game, it's like Garrus and Broshep are total bros together.
there
And
is no Garrus, there is no Shepherd without Vicarian.
aw,
Yeah.
I have that keychain.
So do I. I was going to say, from my perspective, when it comes to, I mean, I've been a gamer my whole life, but when I specifically think about maybe why so many veterans might be drawn to games like what BioWare makes is it's not it's not just about the romances like you're saying. it is the squad dynamic. It's literally like this group of people that are all different coming together to do the same thing. That's exactly what the military does. And it doesn't even matter what job you have in the military. I can guarantee your job and my job work so far apart. I was intel, desk job, super squirrel, secret stuff. And I had that feeling because we were doing something that felt like it could be life or death for a lot of people and felt so important and like saving the world kind of, when it comes to Shepard and their squad. And I mean, I hadn't played Mass Effect again while I was in the Navy, and when Legendary Edition came out and I played it, and my whole life is so different now than when I was in the military. I went from being that and working with national intelligence agencies to being a stay-at-home mom and full-time student at the time. Now I have a job, but it was just so different. I felt like I was me again playing Mass Effect, if that makes sense. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yeah, it's funny because I get this a lot with BioWare games, although there are other developers in which I think you can sort of experience the same connection. When you get to customize your character, or- and beyond just looks, you get to say, well, here's the background and here's sort of the personality. I think a lot of gamers, at least the first time that we do it, we sort of create a character in our own likeness. And it's sort of a way to re-experience, either portions of your life or aspirations and dreams that you have. You get to sort of do it through an avatar that you get to guide and say, well, I can't do this in real life, but well, what if I could? And you get to you know, play through these really dynamic, expressive plot lines that have all of these moments where you get to decide, what would I do in that situation, or how would I have reacted, given these circumstances.
Mm-hmm. I generally don't make my playable characters look physically like me. I mean, I'd rather make it the best version of something. It's like I want my playable characters to look badass, and I don't think that I do. So I don't make them look like me. Um, but then in those decisions that you get to make, that's where I feel like those are my choices, my decisions. I want to know, like, what would I really do in these situations? And hopefully I never have to come across any of them in real life. Do I want to blow up a base and kill 350 million people? No, not at all. But it's a decision that you have to make and that you have to live with.
I mean, I have to imagine that all of the devs who do this they are human as well. So you have to think that, these plot lines and these decisions that they write into the games weigh just as much on them as it does for a gamer. I mean, as a developer and as a writer, you can't just choose the option that you would as a person. You have to explore all of the options because we're all individual. We all have different mindsets. So I imagine just what the gravitas of, flushing out all of those different iterations of plot lines is like.
Yeah. And
So,
the consequences of your decisions. I don't know why, but the whole curing the genophage and is really coming to mind right now. The choice of saving Maitland's data or not. That one, to me, it felt like it related directly to like the studies that the Nazis did was horrific, but we gained medical knowledge from that, and medical knowledge that we still use to this day Was it moral the way that they got that knowledge? Absolutely not. Was it moral the way that Malin was discovering his things? Absolutely not. But the decision to either keep or destroy that data has very long-term consequences.
Yeah, that's a great point. And know I've talked to some gamers who will do our renegade run through where we're gonna be a total asshole and make all the and we get 5 minutes into the game and we can't do it.
Yeah.
It's like I can't hit the button that makes me an awful person.
Mm-mm.
I think it's just so fascinating, and I even sort of get like secondhand cringe when I watch people do these run throughs. I'm like, I don't want to see how the character reacts.
No,
I don't want to see.
I don't.
Yeah, the armchair, like, anthropologist in me
Yeah,
really wants to. I don't even know if anyone's done this, but I would love to know what are the differences between the people who can't bring themselves to make those choices and the people who actually can, whether they're easily making those choices or whether they're having to force themselves. But I
right.
think it's kind of positive that so many gamers are like, no, I can't hurt the fake CGI person's feelings. Like, I have to be a renegade, or not a renegade. I have to be a paragon, or I have to make the nice choice. I think that says good things about humankind overall. I would hope so.
Yeah, and it's well, and I know your podcast is sort of centered around romance, and that I think that just adds a whole nother level to um, what is expressed by doing by playing a role playing game. I mean, I'm sure I know at least I do. I'm sure I'm sure everybody has that one past relationship where they really wished they could have been better or they could have done something differently or you know um any number of revisions. But I think what's really neat about romance in video games is that you get the opportunity to replay those moments. And I think a lot of writers have done a really good job of sort of sort of guiding the player in what I think we would consider as a morally respectful, courteous, tact. I don't think I've ever played a video game where, you know, you're, beating up on your significant other and causing distress and domestic, abuse. Like that's not something we see a lot of. Maybe I'm just not playing the right games, but I think I am playing the right games because I haven't seen a lot of that.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Well,
think.
something, yeah, I don't know about that, but something that I found interesting doing various research for this podcast is that gamers use video game romance to experiment with their sexuality, especially LGBTQIA plus individuals, because there's a lot more. I mean, it's not great still, but there's a lot more representation in video games nowadays, especially with Bioware games, when it comes to those types of romance options. And so, I actually saw some of the research showed that women tend to experiment a little bit more than men in as gamers. But I did see something I didn't expect that said men prefer romance options when they're tied into the story in a nice way, but you're not shoehorned in. Like it's not you're not forced to have a romance, but it doesn't feel like just a lame side quest. Like not to throw Skyrim under the bus, but you know how it doesn't really matter if you have a spouse or not in Skyrim, like that sort of thing.
Right.
So like the way Mass Effect or Dragon Age does it is apparently ideal for male gamers, which I would have thought it would be the opposite, but apparently women don't really care if it's tied into the story or not. Do you have a preference, Pipeman, as a member of the male species?
um, I think what I really enjoy about a couple of the games that we've mentioned is the yes, you can experiment. I believe that like, there are multiple characters when you have options, and some of these characters have really deep backgrounds. and some of these characters are just kind of flings. I think it sort of gives the player a safe space to really help decide for themselves. If I've created this character in my likeness, or I'm making decisions as if I were actually in the game. um, when you're presented with these options that give you a different types of relationships, I think it's great. And I mean, personally, I really enjoy the story. You know, I love background stories. I One of the things that this BioWare does, and because we're talking Mass Effect, that they do really well is that each character has their flaws. Romance in real life it's not a Hallmark movie. It is
Nope.
messy, and know we all have baggage, and this, you know maybe we're flying Southwest, you can have as much as you want, but I think at the end of the day, to acknowledge these characters who have their own problems or insecurities, or these character moments, to help them grow through it, I think adds a whole depth to any sort of romantic relationship, because through that relationship, I mean, not only are you learning about this character, but I think you're also learning about yourself in a bit. I mean, I know in games it's you can only program so much for NPCs and for scripted dialogue, but I think a lot of these developers have done amazing work in recreating these characters that we can relate to. We know somebody like that. We
Hmm.
know that somebody who's a colossal archaeologist nerd, well, maybe. We know somebody who has some family troubles. Um, at the end of the day, if we're given this opportunity to sort of explore that backstory and help them help ourselves, I think it's a great sort of aspect to some of these games.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know people who have family issues and need help resolving them. And sometimes it just takes that third party who can step in without a bias. And that is who Shepard is on most of the loyalty missions. Let me be the third party to save you from your daddy drama.
Hashtag Jacob.
Hashtag Miranda.
And yeah,
Hashtag Tally.
so everybody has their family problems, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on one hand, you can look at it, it's kind of disappointing that we all can be wrapped up into you fit this trope or you fit this trope. But it's real life. I mean, it makes it so that's why it's so relatable, because when you boil it down just enough where it's specific so that it applies to you, but general so that it applies to a lot of people,
Hmm.
like the daddy issues thing or the mentor mentee thing, or, there's just so many. Like, there's this great website I've discovered since starting this podcast called TV Tropes. And it's literally, they have video games on there too. So you can go by character and it just lists all their tropes. And it's really crazy how you can just boil down this whole personality by these tropes. I'm like, yeah, that's right. It makes me want to know what mine are. Cat Lady's one of them, obviously. But yeah, no, I mean, it's nice though, because it makes it easy to relate. And that's all we want as humans, I think, is just to hear stories that we can feel a part of. We want main character energy. So I see your cat, Genesis, and
Yes,
it's
Maya has
amazing.
decided to show and is being very, very wanting. And
I have a dog upstairs that maybe she fell asleep. She's been chewing on an antler, so
Oh, that's the loudest sound.
she'll like drop it along the hallway upstairs.
Do you have a lab?
she is for lack of a definition, because she's a mutt of some sort. She's sort of a cross between a Australian Kelpie and husky, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, so
And looks a little bit like a Varan.
that is, yes. The running joke is that she is somewhere between a Pyjack and a Varan, and is an equal temperament to match. But
My sister's in our stream comments demanding, show us the baby. Because she is the dog lady. Oh, that's my twin sister. She was also in the Navy, and we did the same job. She was the top bunk in boot camp, and I was the bottom bunk. We were stationed together. Fun
well,
times.
that must have been fun.
It was awesome. We don't live in the same state right now, and we haven't since 2016, and it's the worst. Absolutely the worst. But otherwise, I mean, we're still like super tight. Yeah, she wants you to know she has an Australian cattle dog, and they are just gray
Okay.
kelpies, which I'm glad she explained
Yeah.
that because I have never heard of an Australian kelpie before.
Neither had I until my girlfriend brought this thing home. So I
Yeah,
will.
our dog is a mutt, but she's mostly lab, and she does the same thing with her antler and her bones, her rawhide bones. She just throws them around. So loud.
I will drop a picture in the Discord that you may
That's perfect.
disseminate.
Ah,
We
yes.
normally have cat pictures, but I accept all babies. I have a dog, 2 cats, a rabbit, and a leopard gecko, so I do not discriminate when it comes to the babies. I have a human kid too, but she's not as interesting as the animals.
Why won't you call them skin babies, V? You call your other children fur babies. Why not call that one a skin baby?
I mean, technically, my gecko should be a skin baby too because he doesn't have any fur. But skin baby just sounds wrong.
So I have uploaded a picture of the dog into the happy hour text since that was open on my phone. So
All right.
Are you cool if I screenshot it for my sister because she's not in there?
go for it.
Okay. Okay. I have verbal permission. It's a doggy. Okay. But
right.
anyway, back to romance.
Yeah, right. Back to romance.
Or just relationships in general, because I'm a huge fan of platonic relationships too. It doesn't have to be romance. I know our podcast is about romance, but I love love.
Right. I think our podcast should be the broad range. It's not just romances, it's relationships, it's bromances, it's your BFF bestie for life. It's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't have a bromance without romance. So
Yeah, there's some good. What's your favorite bromance in game? Do you have one?
Oh man, oh boy. So I think the Shepherd Harris one is definitely up there. But I've really enjoyed. There's been a really good bromance in the Gears of War series between Nyx and Dom. That one is a little bit more hits a little bit closer to home just because it's more sort of military related. But I mean relationships like that I think are as are equally as important. I mean, you think of some of these plot lines that are just driven by two guys or two women who are who are experiencing struggle and together is it's I think it carries the same weight, different direction, but
The Gears of War one, definitely. Because when I was talking to Jason, my husband, about it, and he's former military also, he was like,
we have a party in here.
right? I'll call him over. I'm not former military, so but he's like, if there was anything that I would want to come on and talk about, it would be the relationship between Dom and Nick in Gears of War. And I was like, I get it. It's a total bromance between two military dudes, and that's what your life was for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, you go through shit together. It's which is a very strong bond, I guess I should point out for any veterans who are listening, um, yes, I'm Marine Corps. I will readily admit that I am a pogue. So I do not have, I don't have as much combat experience as a lot of you probably do. So take this with a grain of salt. But the friendships and family, non-blood, although
In V's case, it
it's
was.
and yeah, well, yeah, it's those relationships that you form last forever. I've got I've got acquaintances that I will talk to that I haven't seen since combat training. And that was a long time. Well, yeah, it was a long time ago. So, and we haven't seen each other. We still talk as if, hey, I'll see you at PT tomorrow morning.
Hmm.
It's like we hit pause, but when we resume, it's like we never forgot anything.
Yeah.
I completely agree. When my case, I feel like I was so lucky in the fact that my special job was with every other branch, even the Coast Guard and a lot of civilians. I have to include the Coast Guard.
We all we,
Um,
we, we all do.
there was only a tiny, tiny fraction of the people I worked with that were Coast Guard, but they were there. And I got to make friends from every branch, and we were all intel, but my school that I went to was on an army base too, so I feel like I had like a very worldly when it comes to military, at least American military experience. And even though we all had our differences, even just in branch, it's the same. Age didn't matter either. Some of my friends are way older than me or were younger than me, and we still talk now. Or if I ever saw them, it's nice. We are scattered all four corners of the country or even the world, because plenty of the people I know end up stationed overseas somewhere too. And it's just nice to know that I pretty much have a friend wherever I go, you know? It's just really nice. And it's like this weird understanding, I think. I'm not sure if I'm sure it exists with civilians that travel a lot for their job too, or maybe government civilians, because they rotate around kind of similarly to military. But it's like this understanding that you're going to move at some point, so you kind of find fast friends when you get there, and there's no hard feelings when you leave. It's just this
Yeah,
weird. I don't know how to explain it, because I've known a lot of civilians that have to go through this like breakup process when you move or something, and it's just so much simpler when
yeah.
they were military, because they're just like, oh yeah, you're leaving, okay, bye.
It's funny because so people are probably wondering, well, if you're a pogue, which is person other than grunt, so people are probably wondering what I actually did. Part of most of my enlistment was actually done in the Marine Corps band program. I'm a musician by trade. This is actually the recording studio that I'm in right now. Um, and part of being a musician with them, we got to travel abroad, play for heads of state, there was just amazing opportunities. And I want to say in 2012, this is after I left active duty. I actually got together with a whole bunch of other former Marines. We created an ensemble, and we went and played at the Nova Scotia International Tattoo, which was, I mean, it's an amazing experience because we represented the United States. We had uh, Heeres Music Corps Eins, which is like the first German army band there. We had these military groups from all over the world. And as different as we were, as soon as we would finish the show that night, we would walk down to the bar and we are all family again. And I distinctly remember um, partying with the Germans. Good Lord.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Lena.
Yeah, absolutely. They had an oompa band, like a Bavarian oompa band that we all started playing together, and it police were called. The interaction was peaceful, but we were told to go home at 2 in the morning because we were absolutely obliterated. Um, it was the most fun I had had in such a long time. Um, and this has got to be what it's like when you walk into Vortex or the all those nightclubs on the Citadel where you have different species. You don't necessarily speak each other's language, but you do.
Hmm.
It's the there's it's there are relationships like that where you don't need all the details. You know, you're still kind of a family. You're all in the same galaxy, you know,
Hmm.
and it's an open bar. So
That some of my crazy times. I think the craziest times of my life, because I am quite a boring person, was when I was in Seoul, and I met lots and lots of South Korean rock army specifically, and they have in Korea what's called noraebangs, which are it's karaoke room, and it's awesome because your party gets to have a private room to eat, drink, and sing karaoke, and those are the best. There's also no public um, drunkenness laws in South Korea, so like you'll just see people just swaying on the sidewalk or into the subway. And it's so in my case, I did speak their language, but I also feel like there was just a huge bond there. And I got to meet some Canadian military as well. And it's just the same thing. I don't know. It's so weird because to me, I mean, the military is not obviously a peacekeeping organization, but it's so weird how we're able to make those bonds with people from all over. And you're like, well, there we go. That's it. Now we're all friends, right? Like, it's just so weird how it can coexist. We are a fighting force, and yet we are also just a bunch of young kids in charge of shit we should not be in charge of because we're too young and making friends and just having fun. Like, it's just such a weird but really interesting thing. I When you were talking about your stories and I'm thinking back about mine and I'm just like it's so weird how I went from that person to the person I am now just sitting in a house all day because of COVID and I have a toddler. It feels like a whole different world that I was in when I was so young and I the things I wrote were seen by people at the highest offices in this country and I'm like I'm nobody, but the military really makes you somebody.
you know,
And
I
that's like the main character energy we go back to with the video games, I
yeah.
think, you know?
Well, it's funny. So at work today, my day job, I work for a sign company, and we do everything from like street and business signs to vehicle decals and wraps. Um, and one of the sort of things I did today, I had to put up a whole bunch of text on a wall, and for an exhibit. And so I got to the place, and yeah, the guy there, super nice. I'm actually going to send him a Discord invite for reasons which will become apparent shortly. Super nice guy. I put the graphic up on the wall and sort of taped it up and said, "Okay, here, why don't you come take a look at it before I stick it? Tell me what you think. Is this work for you?" He takes a look at it. He says, "Yep, great. Looks awesome." I do the install, and we were making small talk afterwards. And he said, "Oh, cool, you're like a musician and you do this and this and this and this." Um, and he said, "So like you do like a lot of things." And I said, "Well, yeah, it's like, I gotta, pay the bills. So like, what, whatever. I've picked up a whole bunch of hobbies." Then he points at me and he says, "Oh, cool. And you got a mass relay tattoo on your arm." I dropped everything. So this is the tattoo we're talking about. I don't know if you can see it. Um,
Yay!
it Right. Small obsession? Maybe.
I'm also
He
wearing my
is
mass relay necklace.
nice. So he was the first person to actually recognize it. I had a sweatshirt on with like my sleeves rolled up, so you couldn't even see the whole tattoo. He saw it and he went, "Yeah, we've now started a relationship, if you will, like I know something about you, and we've gone through like the same thing, or we have something in common."
Hmm.
Um, which is it was like the coolest thing ever. So, if Brandon listens to this, hey man, I haven't sent out the Discord invite yet, but it is so awesome to, especially through video games, find those connections with people.
Oh yeah.
It's super neat.
And that's what I love about the Discord, about the main Robots Radio Discord, is that we, in the Mass Effect Lorecast channel, we all have at least that one thing in common. Whether or not we disagree on any other views outside of the game, we at least have that establishing relationship of, oh, we at least have that establishing relationship of, we've played this game and we know the experiences that each other have gone through.
We've had to make those decisions, and for obvious reasons, I will not give away spoilers here, but there are some very tough decisions that you have to make in that game,
Hmm.
and we've all been through it, and at the end of it, it's doesn't matter what you've decided, it's a point of connection that we can connect on.
Yep. And speaking of points of connection, uh, what I would like to know who your canon romances are, and if you are a main femshep or broshep player.
Ooh, so most of if I'm given the option to play as either male or female or other character, um I generally choose female. So I've I have done broshep run throughs, but I've actually really enjoyed doing femshep run throughs because it's a whole perspective that I don't have
Mm.
in real life. I think one of the most sort of sobering moments was when you first meet Harkin
Oh.
in in Cora's den.
Hmm.
And he's a total schmuck. Like it just a
You can say
totally.
douchebag or fuckhead or whatever you want to say in this moment.
Oh man, you know, if you play as Femshep and you take the abuse that Harkin hurls at you, you best let Garrus do whatever he wants in you know
Hmm.
what during the whole his loyalty mission later on, because that sack of shit, it just, and you realize that so if you don't know what I'm talking about, for those of you who have not met Harkin, he just an absolute sexist pig.
Mm.
I think is the most professional way to
And
describe him.
what we'll do right here is we'll take a 3-second moment of silence, and this is where I will insert the Harkin on the actual podcast episode. Okay. So.
So fuck that guy. So
Agreed.
yeah, so interestingly enough, playing as a woman, um, and having like that interaction, and that's not the only interaction. I mean, there are other sort of moments where you really see the inequality and the just the unrefined um, discourse that happens,
Hmm.
and it when you're playing as a female character. Um, I think it's honestly as awful as it is to be, catcalled and whatnot. I also think it's a great opportunity because as a gamer, look at that, you feel uncomfortable, and you realize that it's not just a game. Like these people exist in real life, and it's an unfortunate reality that you know as a guy, I don't really think twice about it, right? I don't. That's not something that really affects me if I'm walking home at night or if I'm you know sitting by myself at a bar, and it's one of those sort of instances that guys really need to be aware of. Just because you don't have to think about it doesn't mean that she doesn't.
Oh,
And
you mean
so
you've never had a Batarian tell you that the stripper auditions are over in the other room?
not yet.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that you even are considering it is good. Like one more man on our side is always a better step in the direction that we need to go in.
I
But
mean,
yeah, I mean,
there are instances I know with some female friends of mine where yeah, I mean, we will like shit on each other all day, just back and forth and back and forth. But it's within the context of an established friendship that is built on respect and you know a mutual sort of understanding that you know all of this is in jest. And
Mm-hmm.
even then, sometimes we'll kind of push too far. It's like, okay, yeah, that's yeah, let's back that off. But to play as femshep, and I think Jennifer Hale does this just absolutely stunning job of delivering that character. Um, is it's a perspective that I don't get to play in real life. Not that I'm flying spaceships around, and I'm not really doing all the shepherd stuff in real life. But to even get a glimpse at what it's like from a completely different point of view. I mean, that's why it's called a role playing game.
Yeah.
You don't have to play your role, right? So if I sometimes I'll make the character in my image and do that whole thing. A lot of times I want to experience a different point of view.
Yeah.
And within romance, oh my gosh, like what a completely eye-opening experience to sort of approach romance from the opposite sex's point of view. I mean,
Mm.
you know, even beyond all of the species differences and the cultural differences, just the whole idea of romance is a two-way transaction, um or three or four or five, but like that's to simply play through a game and say, well, I'm the guy and I save the world and get the girl, and it's more than that.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say it's more than that, it's not just that.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed playing different perspectives and different backgrounds. And I think I'm not saying I've learned a whole lot, but it's way more than what I started with, and that's a start.
Have you used any of Garrus's pickup lines on Pipe Girl?
Have I? Probably. But by that token, and she'll probably listen to this later, I'm pretty sure she's used some of Garrus's lines on me. And I mean, what can I say? They work.
They work.
They work. You know? I mean, there are references to calibrating that are just not fit for anything outside of this podcast.
Turian's always bragging about their reach and flexibility.
Yep, she had flexibility, but I had reach. I think I actually used that in a conversation once, just mistakenly, and nobody got it except for me. And now
Uh,
I'm like laughing like an idiot. They're like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "Just don't."
I use it
that's
in
how I
emails.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jen always
Yeah.
slip that one in to each other constantly.
Yep.
It's just expected at this point. But my sister and we always get each other's references to literally anything. And that's one of the hardest things about being apart from her now is just the fact that I'll say something so freaking funny that she would laugh at and no one else gets it. I'm just like, no one else does anything that we do. Like, you guys haven't watched this show or played this game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So that's
but
kind of a bummer.
I think that's part of the fun,
Hmm.
is
Finding
I
that
mean,
person who will get it.
Mm-hmm.
for Vada, you can make jokes about eating crayons to me. I'll
Yes.
laugh, and a lot of people will go, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I've never heard the Uber one before. That was good. I've heard um that the Marines are the men's department of the Navy before, and I thought that was funny.
I
It's
mean,
hilarious.
the whole acronym of Marines is "My ass rides in Navy equipment." So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, Navy is never again volunteer yourself.
that's one of the ones I heard.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Mhm.
Share more.
Oh, forgive me for this.
That's fine.
One of the funniest ones I've heard yet was "Need any Vaseline yet?"
That's hilarious to me. My husband was a submariner, and they're all very homoerotic, so it's totally true.
Yeah, but
I've heard some stories.
at the same time, I mean, the shit that we did in the Corps, you know, on the outside, you're like, okay, so Spartans, right? Oh, okay, right, yeah,
Yeah, yours is PT shorts are real short, so
Silkies, baby.
yeah, like
I still buy them.
upper thigh, Jen.
I still buy
Oh,
them because they're so comfortable.
I've
I imagine
seen.
they chafe.
Not at all. It looks like Genesis has some googling to do.
Oh no, I don't need to do the Googles. I
Okay,
already know.
all right. So
You
just
About the
forget,
short
I
shorts.
reached the top rank in the military because
just
Oh.
I am a PFC and therefore I am top rank because I'm a private fucking citizen.
Oh my god.
I'm stationed at First Civilian Division. That's so yeah. Maybe we can send you a picture of Garrus photoshopped into some silkies.
That's gonna be terrifying.
I do.
Yeah.
Shoving a dinosaur
Wait,
chicken into some silkies.
did
I
your
do. I
pillow
do
arrive?
Photoshop.
My pillow?
No,
I'm
Pipe
too
Man's
scared.
pillow.
Oh, did you get a
Wait,
pillow,
what?
Pipeman?
I thought you were going to buy the matching pillow that I got.
I think it's on my list. I have not committed to it yet. There have been a couple of other major projects in development. Um, and I've been sort of letting this sort of slide. I was the designer behind Tom's new shirt. I did not make the
Secret has
shirt.
been revealed.
Well, I designed it, but I did not make the shirt. I was not the I so I cannot take full credit. There were others involved. I just had the Photoshop skills to create Danny DeVolis playing a saxophone.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's ridiculous. I
You
actually
need to
print,
make like a saxophone bit
I
of music that
actually
Danny DeVolis would play.
I actually printed that image out on canvas and framed it. It's hanging in my house. I don't know what to do with it. It's just one of
Hang
those
it like
things
the art it
where
is.
Exactly.
people are gonna walk in and just go, "What the?" So
Oh,
Apollo.
that's fine. I don't think anyone's walking into my house anytime soon, but because I don't know anybody here. Well, apparently I know PF Apollo because we just found out we live in the same city.
oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, a real life friend.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just thinking. I mean, my brain is completely off the rails at this point because it's 11:30. But I think one of the coolest romance things about Mass Effect is not the romance between Shepard and another character. It's the romances that happen between your NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see many games doing that. And spoilers ahead, walking in on Tally and Garrus is hysterical.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get Donnelly and
Gabby and Ken.
Gabby, what's her nuts? Yeah. Um, apparently that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Joker and Edie.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what other
And then there's
romance.
even non-squad mates too that hook up. There's the Asari and the Krogan on Ilium in 2. And then their
Mm-hmm.
relationship carries on into 3.
Char,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember her name
I
for the
don't
life
know
of
if she
me.
has a name. She's just called the Ilium Rose.
But like,
Mm. And there's
how
Jacob.
beautiful is that you've got this you know battle turtle buddy singing poetry to
Mm-hmm.
I
his
know.
girlfriend of a completely different species.
Oh, and
It's so neat. It's
he
so neat.
learns. He learns how
It
to get
does.
better.
Yeah.
And in
My
3,
And
two
it's
favorite
fucking
things
crushing.
my two favorite things about any form of media, any characters are people doing things that you would not expect them to do, and the orphan child meeting up with the pseudo parent, like a la Joel and Ellie in Last of Us. That type of trope. Oh, love it.
yeah,
Perfect. So amazing. And then the people doing things you don't expect is the Krogan reciting poetry, for instance. Oh, love it. Love it
love it.
so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, okay.
Those always make me so happy.
Cloudy says she has a name. The Ilium Rose's name is Araba.
Oh yeah, nice. Yep, yep, awesome. And Cloudy, I will get that arrangement of Vigil to you. It's on my to do list.
I feel
Um,
like your whole life now is just like being a music performer for the Mass Effect lorecast.
well, spoiler alerts. This Sunday, um,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a Mass Effect Lorecast episode in which there's going to be some live music, and we are going to talk about it. So, you know,
That's
it's
amazing.
so I've had to
Is
I've
it
had
wait, it's gonna be you and Mike?
yeah,
That
Mm-hmm.
episode's finally happening.
it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I
This
can't wait.
so yeah, so this coming Sunday at at a reasonable hour Pacific and an obscene hour Eastern. Um, but
Yay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for not changing the time because I'm actually like cutting a date in half so that way I can be home in
no,
time. A girlfriend invited me up to do one of those wine and paint nights and she's like, it starts at 5. We should be home by like 7.
Those are so fun.
Yeah. And I'm like, I need to
so
be home by like
just
7:15.
tune in remotely. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for taking me out and taking me to wine and paying for the paint night. But I'm gonna watch these 3 guys on Twitch while we're hanging out.
That
Be-
is my socializing now. This is my
yeah.
socializing now. Like I literally don't leave the house because my job is remote. My child is not yet in daycare because we are on a wait list. COVID, living in a city I don't know anybody. So I'm like, go on the paint night, tune
Well,
in remotely,
I
appreciate your in-person friends.
Oh,
I can reveal that one of the pieces of music that may or may not be talked about is the love theme.
oh,
So we there will be a little bit of discussion on some of that music. So there will be
Can you
romance
just like do an
involved.
honorable mention of Shepherd's Tango? Because
oh,
that's
the
a good piece of
tango.
music.
Oh,
Especially
wait, I'm
the
gonna
scene that accompanies it.
Mm-hmm. I
Have
think
you
I'm gonna
not
have
heard
to
it,
play
Pipeman?
the.
The
Shepherd's
Shepherd's Tango?
Tango. Oh, I am so gonna learn this.
You must, and you must watch the scene in which it happens
Oh
I'm
well,
on the
because
YouTube video right
are
now.
you a
it's so
Garrusmancer or
great.
who's your femshep canon?
Who's my femshep canon?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Usually Liara, but because I mean, I like nerds and I like science, and you know, it to romance somebody as equally nerdy and socially awkward as I just kind of makes sense. Um,
Is
and
that you in real life too? Is pipe girl, nerdy romance option.
I'm gonna tag her. I'm gonna tag her in this discussion. Actually, I mean, she's a little bit introverted, but definitely way smarter than me. Definitely way more learned. I mean, just go check out the literature channel on Discord. Puts me to shame.
Aw, I love
Oh,
that.
I love it. No, it's great.
I love men hyping their women. That's my favorite.
You
That's
know,
another one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites.
it's if you can find somebody that does really good things that are different than what you do, it's fantastic. Like we both cook, we both do, X amount of things, but like she does her literature, she, does all of this other stuff that I just haven't had the time or frankly interest in pursuing. But it's so neat to have around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm going to save this YouTube video of Shepherd's
Mhm.
Tango. I will
I can't
probably
wait for
go
you to see that.
you know what? I will probably go pour myself another dram and go learn this
It's pretty short, so I
because
think you'd
that's
be able to learn it really quick.
well, what
And I
sucks
think
is
it's
that
pretty much a standard tango.
Mhm.
yeah, probably. What stinks is that like none of Mass Effect's music is published really. So, you know,
Yeah.
but that's actually part of the fun. Let's go listen to this and see if we can learn it.
That's my dad. My dad can learn
Do
anything
it.
by ear. My grandma was the put a sheet music in front of her and she could just play it like she'd been practicing forever. I used to
Yeah.
play cello and then I joined the Navy and then I stopped playing cello and now it's in my closet. I really want to practice and because I completely forgot everything that I knew before,
Yeah.
which is sad. I miss playing cello.
It's still there. You can still pick it up.
Yeah.
Like riding a bike, just a lot more expensive.
Yeah. Gosh, I have to even remember how to tune it, let alone how to play it. It's been so long. And it's not like a great quality cello either. It was like I got it's 15 years old now, but it's fine. It's still I have
It
such nostalgia for
works.
it.
It works.
It
It
does work.
works.
It does work. And I did tune it recently and tried playing something and I was like, oof, wow, it has been a while since I touched this. I don't remember what I'm doing, but it's
Phrasing.
fine. Well, I guess if there's any last thoughts that you have for video game romance, video game military stuff, what
Yeah,
is
no,
your favorite
it's
romance out of any game? Anything?
it's I know we'd actually talked about the enslaved romance between
Which was
Monkey and
not what
Trip,
I was
which is
expecting it to be.
right. I think that's one of the reasons it's so cool is because you go, what the is this? And then by the end of the game, I mean, you haven't played it yet, so
No, but when you told me that your favorite game was Enslaved, I was like, "Oh, am I about to see a dark side of Pipeman?" But
oh,
it's not what I thought it was.
it's no, it's I'm sorry, it's not quite as kinky as you were probably hoping, but it's a really neat story. Um, you know, just the romance in it starts as um, you know, she has control of him via a mind control device. Again, I'm leaving out details. By the end of it, he chooses to wear it instead of being forced to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
And because he cares, because and their character arcs are just they change so much. But by the end of it, he says no, like let me wear this until the end of the game because not because I have to, but because I want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and it's not even like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. It's it's because it like essentially keeps her alive and whatever. So it's it's the arcs that happen within video game romance that are just absolutely fascinating. So, if you haven't played any of these games, go play them. Enjoy the romance. Learn from them. They're game romances. They're not real life, but they do offer some really interesting insights. And I think it's a great way to just kind of role play, get into a different mindset. Learn from the other perspective. Find romances that aren't just like sexual romance. Form bonds that are between brothers, family. It's I think romance in the way that we generally first think of it is only the tip of the iceberg. It goes so much deeper than just video game sexy time. it's
Yep.
it's such a great way to to connect not only with another personality or identity, but it's also a great way to kind of come back to yourself. I mean, hell, after leaving the Corps and going through some frankly pretty picked up shit, experiencing those kinds of relationships just through games is it's one of the most human things I've done recently, right? Is to explore the imagination with with another character.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I knew we'd have fun.
Oh yeah.
You're cool. You can just tell.
Thanks.
Or at least to me. I don't know what my opinion matters, though, because I am a nerd. Cool to me.
How we all are. And that's why we talked about this for an hour.
Oh yeah.
And frankly, we probably could keep going, but
If we started like 2 hours ago, then you guys wouldn't be
I'm
so
like,
tired.
I'm sleepy.
Right?
that's right, because you're on the East Coast.
Well,
Aren't you?
I'm
Or
technically
you're-
Central Time because I'm far enough inland that I'm just right there, I guess. But it's still late for me because I'm a baby.
Well, you
I
wake up
just love
early
sleep.
and you have a baby. So
I do
those are
wake up
also
early. And
I
she
know.
started waking up. She used to wake up at 9 a.m., which was amazing. Now she's waking up at like 7, and I was waking up at like 5:30 to start work at 6 so I could get work done without her in my way. Gosh, and now she's just like, just kidding. My New Year's resolution is to wake up early. Like, what the heck? Why?
Yeah. Our
Aw.
child, if you will, routinely
Yes.
gets up at like 5. And it's just like, all right, we're going. And I'm like,
No, we're not. Lay down.
nope, nope. I am,
Uh,
I'm a PFC. I'm sleeping in.
Yeah, my other child, I like to say I have 6 because of all the fur babies or animals.
Yep.
My other child, Ollie, my tuxedo cat, he was up on my desk a little bit ago. I don't know if you saw him. He's a demon. Last night, he meows so loud, the loudest cat I've ever heard, for food all the time, forever. And last night he started at 2 in the morning and just went. He gets fed at like 5 in the morning because we can't wait any longer at that point. But he never lets me sleep in. He's the worst. I love him, and I also count the days until he dies finally because he's just the worst. He's older, but he's not that old, so we could have so much longer with him, and I even want to think about that.
Yep.
I love him so much. I don't want to come off as like a horrible person because I foster a lot of kittens. I shelter volunteer. I love cats. He's just the worst. He bit me the other day for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I almost had to go to the doctor. Cat bites are no joke. Their mouths are teeming with disgustingness. You could get sepsis,
Yes, you
but
can.
I'm okay.
I'm
Anyway,
also
sorry.
allergic to
Tangent.
cats, so I can't do that.
It's like I have yin and yang cats, though, like good and evil. Ollie is evil. My cat, Mary, is literally perfection. He's just a little ragdoll, chubby potato. He just wants love.
everybody's like, "What? Oh, wait, because what breed's your dog?" And I'm like, "Asshole,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's like a cat owner response. What breed's your cat? I don't know, dumpster fire. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a real Harkin. That's right.
Ooh, that may
Right.
be a little too evil.
I don't know. I'm after last night with him meowing at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and 5 in the morning. I don't even know. I literally was laying in bed, just like sometimes I just want to open the door and let him free.
Mhm.
I would never do that. But like in the depth of the night when I'm pissed at him, I fantasize about it, just setting him free. There's cougars out here, yo. You will die so fast. He tries to escape outside all the time too. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna.
we have coyotes here, and like
Yeah,
they will howl right outside the fucking window,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in
and
Southern California. We have a lot of coyotes there.
and she's like, "Oh, hey, there's a party. I'm gonna join." And I'm like, "No, you're gonna sit your ass down and keep your mouth shut because it's 2 o'clock in the morning."
That's my cat. He's like, he thinks he could take it. He can go outside and win. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, bro, you were an indoor cat. You came
what the
from Hawaii.
shit?
First of all, it is 34 degrees outside right now. You don't even know what that's like. You will die so fast. Stop being stupid and just stay here where food comes
We have these
like
like lost cat
regular
posters.
scheduled.
We have these like lost cat posters like around town. I'm like, it's not lost. It's
It's
been eaten.
eaten.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. That's why my cats are indoor cats because
Yeah.
not only is the outside real bad for cats, the cats are real bad for outside. They single-handedly or single-podedly
Songbirds.
they have made so many bird species extinct because just like humans, they kill for fun. So, everyone keep your cats inside, spay neuter,
Yep.
get them vaccinated, and donate to your shelter so they can do TNR and keep the feral cats at bay because
Hey, we
we
adopted.
just need that. Yeah, adopt, don't shop, yo. Okay,
That's right.
everybody, please. Please.
Yes.
Unless you want to volunteer at your shelter. Might as well. Donate time or money. Soapbox done.
You know what's really funny? Because of the way my like screen is set up, I've had this GIF that Genesis you shared of the baby running and going, "Oh, I forgot my wine," and like running back. I've had that playing the entire time.
V sent that. Yep.
It's just there. It is just there, and I'm like, you know
Yeah,
what?
'cause
An hour later, I still relate.
I just
And
discovered that they have gifts on Discord because I am an old lady. I don't know anything.
oh, it sucks because I had to open up a new bottle tonight, and I was like, "Ah, I need to get back up to start this damn podcast." But I had to open up a new bottle.
Yeah, I'm almost out.
V,
Okay.
are we
All of this
ready?
is not going to be in the episode, everybody. We're going to cut this. So if you're watching live, then you're welcome. Happy birthday. You got cat talk. But yeah,
Uh,
I'm ready. I was ready for bed before we started.
okay, because there's definitely a few things that I would like to go through
Oh
for the
yeah,
end of the
right.
episode. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
kind of had this is your line, V.
Oh, I see the V now. Excuse me. A few
Sorry,
things before we. What? What happened?
I
Okay,
can
I only
see
have a tiny
the.
lap.
I know, but I can see the V now. I was
Yes.
no, you
The
can't.
vagina. Sorry, Twitch. And YouTube. A few things before we wrap up the show tonight. Our Patreon is live, so give us money and we will give you content. We are at patreon.com. Is that a backslash or a regular slash?
It's
You figure it
regular.
out. 2 girls, 1 ship. You can join for as little as $1 a month. That is just 25 cents per episode. And it will go to help support these girls and allow us to upgrade the quality of our equipment and bring you a better overall experience. Each tier unlocks a new perk, and we hope you enjoy them. We have a poll right now up for what we will be discussing on our first live patron chat next Friday, which is, what is that? The 29th? January 29th? 28th. I'm not good at math. You figure it out. We all have
The
smartphones.
28th.
28th. Yeah, where was I? Oh, so if you want to pick up what we talk about, come and join. Or if you want to share your thoughts or anything else that we have listed in our tiers, we have some higher tiers that will get you on the live stream, and we'll shout out your name in every episode and blah, blah, blah. It'll be great. I hope you enjoy it. Take a look.
And with that, we already have shout outs to make. A hopeless romantic and total beast mode bestie, Toasty, is here to support and show his love. And so thank you very much, Toasty, for becoming our first hopeless romantic. And for this week's mundane moment, another big supporter of the show, Apollo, said that he would like to see Shepard and Liara have an argument about Liara having correspondence from Shepard's mom, if you played that origin story, where Liara gets to see embarrassing baby pictures. And I'd freaking love to see that. But if you
What do you
like,
think like an embarrassing baby picture would look like? Like Shepard holding a gun? I don't even know. Like,
well, there's the classic picture of, naked baby lying on the blanket and mom takes a picture of your butt.
or like a baby eating spaghetti.
Oh, with the bowl dumped over the head or the cake smash on your first birthday.
Mhm.
So now, yeah.
Got to be a crying picture in there too. It's like my kid. My kid doesn't smile for anybody, which the feminist in me is really okay with, but the mom in me is like, just smile for a freaking picture.
Just wait until she gets into her "Mom, it's kawaii" phase.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Great.
so that's what I'm dealing with. So it is over smiles. I'm like, look at me with those soulless eyes one more time, and I'm not soulless as soulless.
No, that's what I'm just laughing that hard at you describing your kid as soulless. That's amazing. Okay, I'm so sorry, Pipeman. You're still here listening to us.
No, this is entertaining as hell.
Actually, I hope you're happy listening to us because that's like the whole point of this. Well, if you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a review and subscribe. You can find me and Genesis in the Two Girls, One Ship chat on the Robots Radio Discord channel. And come give us a follow on the social medias at Two Girls, One Ship. Links are in the description.
Yep, we are all on that Robots Radio Discord, and don't forget that we will be live streaming each recording of each of the episodes on Twitch and YouTube at Two Girls, One Ship every Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and releasing the podcast episodes on Sundays. Now, we might not always record live on Friday night, but we will always have an episode up for you on Sundays. Is there anything that you want to shout out at? How people can reach you, cool things that you have going on? We've kind of already talked a lot about that tonight.
Well, if you like music, specifically interesting music, hit me up, pipemanstudios.com. From there, you can find me on iTunes and I think I'm on Spotify. I'm a composer. I write a lot of weird and fun, interesting shit. So, and if you are wanting to hear more about the whole music and video game connection, tune in this coming Sunday for the Mass Effect Lorecast, where a colleague and I are going to dissect and discuss some of the music from the world's best and only video game. Sorry, the only one you should really play.
The only video game now.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I've already tattooed myself. It might as well be the only one. So yeah, tune in. We're going to talk about some really fantastic music from this game series.
I cannot wait. Thank you again for coming on here, and we will put links to your website in our description.
Oh, my pleasure.
And thank you so much for listening. And remember,
Beauty is in the eye of the controller. Meow.
yay!
I want to say her name is Mia now just because you said it's spelled M-Y-A.
It is MYA. It's Maya. I'm not the one that spelled it, but it's what's on her birth certificate. I'm like, weirdo.
Wait, she has a birth certificate? I love
The
it.
whole story. But are we ready to stop recording?
Oh, yeah.
Bam, I'm
stop.
done.
Me too.
Oh, I said stop recording.
Wait, Pipeman, I had a question though. Have you ever listened to Dragon Age music or played Dragon Age? We didn't even talk about that, but because
I have not completed Dragon Age yet, but I have started it.
Inquisition or Origins or the second one or the old one or the newest one?
The old one.
Okay, Origins, yeah. That's the first one. But there, especially Inquisition, oh my gosh. The music is so epic. If you like epic sweeping instrumentals, then
I mean, I am a sucker for it.
Especially the Trespasser DLC. That's like the Trespasser DLC theme. That one's one of my favorites. And then from Origins, the Deep Roads is my favorite song out of the whole soundtrack. But yeah.
Actually, I'm reading up on who the composers are for Dragon Age.
Isn't it the first game? Isn't it Enon Zur?
Yeah.
That's why it's so amazing.
But check that.
He did Fallout. The Fallout
Correct.
3.
Yep,
yeah, okay.
Fallout.
I don't know if his name is pronounced that way. That's how I read it in my head. But I listen to a lot of soundtracks, so I'll randomly know composer names, but that's about it.
Nice. So I just typed my web address in our three-way chat. So you are welcome. So yeah, feel free to use that. If you want anything else, I'll send it to you.
Okay. That sounds good. Everybody, we're going to bed now.
All right. We'll catch you guys later.
Well,
all right.
I'm assuming you're tired. I know I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, just
at this
I'll
point,
be awake.
Yeah, you're West Coast though, so you're wakies.
I'll be up for a little bit while I clean up this mess here, but
oh yeah, before you do anything, you have to watch the tango scene and then tell us.
I'd love to watch your reaction to the have you seen the tango scene before?
He's never seen it.
Only seen like gifs of it.
All right, so it's like 2 minutes long. Come on.
It's 3 minutes and 52 seconds. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Play this. Love that freaking club music.
Oh, and I almost feel like you could skip the dialogue in the beginning. No? Okay.
No. All right. He needs the whole experience.
Garrus's Friend State thing. I think this is when he's like, oh, okay, there we go. Here we go.
It's so good.
That
man learned a tango. Not only did he learn a tango, he literally learned a human dance with his
backwards
gangly
knees. Yep.
Backwards knees.
Hey,
True love.
That makes our headcanon Vega was the girl.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my friend told me the one scene where you do the renegade interrupt and Shepard spins right into Vega's face and he's like, when I first saw it, I was like,
Kill
ew,
Reapers
Vega,
on
go
this
away.
side.
Yeah. And then my friend was like, headcanon Vega taught Garrus the tango. I'm like, that's way cuter. I like that so much. I want that to be true.
Yep.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
No, you're not allowed on the keyboard.
Give her a smooch. Oh, she's
Shepard
fine.
looks drunk.
I hope she is. I mean, they were drinking right before this.
Right.
Did you hear the whole bar flirt scene?
Yep.
Where he was like, I'm Garrus Vakarian, Turian bad boy, dispenser of justice in an unjust galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a codename Archangel. Oh, it's so funny.
All right, here comes the music. Oh, we could learn this. Let's see.
I hope
This is so cheesy. I love it.
It's that I'm a hopeless romantic. That's all I need. I'm like,
Oh, there it is.
I love it so much. It's pretty sexy though.
Everybody starts watching.
Yeah.
Vega.
Oh my gosh, me too. We have Apollo.
He's a smooth son of a bitch.
Right?
Yeah, he is. That voice though, like melted chocolate. So good. Wish I had a nice voice like that. I just have like a meh voice.
No, you don't. I have to
cry.
listen to your voice for like 6 hours straight every Saturday. If I hated your voice, this podcast would not have gone past episode 2. I'd have just been like, you know what? I'm done.
I feel like I should play up my Valley Girl accent because I grew up in the Valley in Southern California. That'd be so horrible. Can you imagine? Ew.
What?
Oh no, it's fine. You can go. Oh wait, is the dog? The dog.
No.
Damn it.
It's the something.
I got so excited for the dog. I'm a sucker for the baby.
Cool.
It's pretty close. That was like almost it, bro.
Yeah, it's be good.
Yeah, you'll learn that in 5 minutes. That was awesome. Nice. So impressed.
Well, so I'll have to at least. Oh, I could make a good source music comment on Sunday. Just like just a technical it's just a technique composers use. So
it's just a technique composers use. No, I love it.
That's awesome.
It sounds like rocket science to me because I don't know, but I love it.
We're a bunch of fucking nerds, is what we are.
But you're nerds with passion, and that's what matters. Like, if you were just nerding and sitting there droning on, trying to explain to me in a lecture hall.
Like what an Elcor.
We have a resident Elcor.
Yeah.
We appreciate
he does drone at us every Sunday, and we love it.
Right?
I hope he's still here, so we saw that. Right. I don't think he is, though.
I feel like I feel like every Sunday Lorecast could be Zeltan and Din Korlak just kind of at each other.
Oh,
it's awesome.
I'm pretty sure Tom could get his voice modulator to be much more volous.
I honestly, I'm like, dude, guys, send me like audio, like your audio clips because I'll just edit them.
Just download it from Spotify.
Can you do that?
Like a voice modulator.
Oh.
Oh no, download their voice from Spotify. Right? From like a podcast episode.
Oh
Or do you
yeah, I
have-
could do that. I'm just saying, like, between the time that they record it and the time it airs. So anyway, well, shit, that was fun. So I recorded my voice.
Oh, we have to stop the
yeah.
stream. Hey guys.
Okay.
Thanks for
Ah!
watching. Like
yes, we
way
were
longer
still
than
live.
Bye.
No,
I love
that
you,
was only an
Shnish.
hour and a
Yes.
half. Right.